Alright, Maryland, the seventh state of the United States of America, and part of the original 13 states. Like all the states and that have gotten their scary places list so far, Maryland is no exception from having some of the most creepiest and scariest locations that can make it stand out next to New Jersey, Connecticut, and the rest in between, because I have some places not only deep in history, but very mysterious too, like very mysterious. I'll probably make your skin crawl, much as I dug through during the research. So let's get started with Top 10 Scary Places of Maryland. Number 1. Fort McHenry, Baltimore. Fort McHenry is a historical American coastal pentagonal bastion fort on Locust Point, which is now a neighborhood in Baltimore, Maryland. It may just be a normal military fort with a lot of history and be best known as the place where America's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, was created. Or inspired by what happened there. You get the point. But obviously, with being a military base, it has been seen through a lot of battles like the War of 1812 and the Civil War. No matter the blood spilled, these gives it a lot of reasons to be a scary place, and a haunted one at that. Fort McHenry was used as a military prison during the Civil War to confine Confederate soldiers, and many soldiers of the war are said to haunt the grounds of the fort. Visitors to the fort have heard unexplained footsteps, seen apparitions, felt cold spot, and smelled the scent of gunpowder. Number 2. Jericho Covered Bridge, Kingsville. The Jericho Covered Bridge is a red 88-foot long burr-arched truss wooden covered bridge near Jerusalem, Hartford County, and Kingsville, Maryland. It was constructed in 1865 and spans over the Little Gunpowder Falls rivers. This bridge has a reputation of being haunted because cars who drive on this bridge late at night unexpectedly stall, and some drivers have reported handprints appear on their car while driving. And the chilling part of it all, drivers have come to see silhouettes of people hanging from the rafters of the bridge. And I think I have come to the conclusion when I looked it up about why people say they see silhouettes hanging from the rafters, because sadly, Civil War soldiers formerly used this site to commit, ending themselves off, and possibly by hanging. I don't think I have to say suicide just to get a point across. And this is YouTube after all. Number 3. Witch's Grave, Annapolis. This place located in Annapolis, Maryland, has a legend that a witch, and let's be real that this was an innocent person, was hanged here, which now is modern-day Truxton Park. After she was buried, it says she left her grave and sought revenge from her executioners. So, on each Halloween night, the spirits of the people who executed her are said to hang from the park trees instead of the witch herself. Looks like she got her revenge. Number 4. Antietam National Battlefield, Sharpsburg. The Antietam National Battlefield in Sharpsburg, Maryland, is where the American Civil War battle, the Battle of Antietam, occurred on September 17, 1862. Now, being a battlefield where a lot of people died just makes it obvious it's haunted. Also, there's a cemetery next to it. It was one of the bloodiest battles of the American Civil War. About 25% of the Union troops and another 31% of the Confederate troops were either wounded, captured, and killed in a span of 12 hours. Again, it's not surprising this place is haunted and haunted by the soldiers. But to get to the point, people see ghost orbs, which are blue, and the Union troops were blue, by the way. But I'm pretty sure that does not have anything to do with the ghost orbs being blue. Drum sounds have been heard, also singing and gunshots, and of course, the apparitions of the soldiers wandering around the grounds. Coffin Rock, Burkittsville. Whether if you believe this or not, this is what I was talking about, something that will make your skin crawl. And a lot. And it's definitely a recommended you to vote from me. Like, please vote for this one in the community vote if you want to or not. I'm not going to force you to do it. But let me tell you why this is so scary. Coffin Rock, which is also called Coffin Hill, which is located in Burkittsville, Maryland, in the Black Hills Forest, easily accessible by a old logging trail. You see people mysteriously go missing on this trail, and one of the creepiest of disappearances happened in March 1886. In March of 1886, a young 8-year-old girl named Robin Weaver went missing on the trail, and so search parties were dispatched to look for her. Now, since this is on a list of scary places, you may think, oh, they found her body, but don't know what killed her. Well, actually, it's the reverse. The one search party, which had Parson Vance, Tom Lane, Jeb Q, Peter Point, Andy F. Fines, and Travis P. Creed, all went missing themselves on the trail, but young Robin came back alive and well. The search party went from finding a little girl to one of their own. It was weeks later that their bodies were found, naked, tied together at the arms and legs, and completely disemboweled, and placed in front of a star in some kind of occult ritual. And then this also where it gets crazy. The bodies vanished. When people went back to get some backup, they could claim the bodies and bury them. The story about this is so infamous that it appeared in the Blair Witch Project, and now people claim the Blair Witch killed these men. So, do you think the actual Blair Witch did it? Because it looks like this was real, or do you think there are some other nefarious secrets hidden on that trail? Number 6, Dr. Samuel Mudd's house, Waldorf. Now, you may not or already know who Dr. Samuel Mudd is, but you may definitely be familiar with John Wilkes Booth. You know the guy that killed the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Well, after the assassination of the president, Booth took refuge at Samuel Mudd's house, where the doctor treated Booth's broken leg, which led to his downfall when he just wanted to help because he is a doctor, and accused as a co-conspirator in the assassination. Mudd was sentenced for the crime he did not commit, but he was released from prison thanks to his wife and pardoned by President Andrew Johnson. Today, the Mudd House is now a museum, and visitors and staff have claimed to see the spirit of Dr. Mudd. There is even an unseen presence felt in one of the beds that is believed to be Booth's ghost. Where he slept, there are bed covers depressed, forming the impression of a body. Number 7, Point Lookout Lighthouse, Scotland. In the town of Scotland, Maryland, is the Point Lookout Lighthouse, which was built in 1830. It's the area where it sits has a lot of history, like being a prisoner of war campground and hospital during the Civil War. A hotel used to stand there until it was consumed in a fire, and it was a strategic lookout point during the Revolution. Maybe that's where it got its name. Over time, and from those mentioned stuff up top that has happened at this site, it's gained a reputation of being one of Maryland's haunted sites. People have claimed to see frequent apparitions of a man dressed in Civil War-era clothing. They have a creepy appearance and smell of gunpowder and mild dew, which accompanied their spirit. Along with that, he looks to have died from smallpox. There is also a ghost of an elderly lady who is forever wandering the beach and seeming to be lost. Some say she is looking for her missing gravestone. Inside the lighthouse, people have heard disembodied voices, sightings of wounded Civil War soldiers, and drops in temperature. Number 8. Glendale Hospital, Glendale. Glendale Hospital opened in the 1930s and treated tuberculosis patients. The hospital was soon divided into separate areas for adults and children, and like the old hospital had tunnels that go underneath the building. However, despite its main purpose to treat patients, it soon fell into the category of cruel treatments and suffering of the patients, where people say patients were tortured and used as test subjects, experimental treatments. The hospital was then closed in 1984, but of course, with this dark history, it gained live people may have left, but the spirits did not. People who explore the abandoned hospital have seen strange phenomena such as noises and echoes in empty hallways, heard yelling, banging, laughter, and even smelled what seems to be burning flesh, as a grim reminder to its days as a hospital. It's not just ghosts of patients, but dogs too. There is even a tale about a man in a straitjacket who is believed to have taken his own life. Number 9. Lord Baltimore Hotel, Baltimore. The Lord Baltimore Hotel is known for its hauntings. Guests have reported feeling a presence as they sleep and experience having unexplained nightmares, even the feeling of being touched by someone unseen. The elevator in the hotel, which I will tell you I'm actually scared of elevators because of a somewhat or dumb experience. Tell me in the comments if you want me to talk about that story in the future. But the elevator would visit the 19th floor without being programmed by the touch of the button to go up to the floor. A ghost that is reported at the hotel is that of a little girl in a cream-colored dress who holds a red ball, and she is either seen crying, rocking back and forth, and screaming. A hotel supervisor has said they've seen 2 adult ghosts, and the local legend says that they are a couple who commit suicide by jumping off the hotel's roof, or maybe a window, because of the stock market crash of 1929, and that they could be the parents of the ghost girl. Number 10. St. Paul's Cemetery, Chestertown. In Chestertown, Maryland is the St. Paul's Cemetery, which dates back to the 1700s. It's a hotbed of activity because of the many souls of the Battle of Coxfield during the War of 1812. Now rest there, including soldiers of both Union and Confederate from the Civil War. A most well-known sighting goes of the cemetery is the spirit of Tench Tillman, a Revolutionary War officer. One very dark night at the cemetery, people claim to see a lantern crossing over a bridge at the edge of the cemetery where his ghost seems to haunt. A famous grave with activity at the cemetery is the grave of actress Tallulah Bankhead, and it's said if you lay on the slab of her grave, you can hear a distinctive raspy voice that she was known to have while alive. And that's the top 10 scary places of Maryland we will list here. Next on the list is going to be South Carolina. And be sure to check the community tab when this video goes live, as there should be a poll to vote for the location you found the most creepy on this list. I think I'm sold on Coffin Rock for being a place in Maryland that chills me to the bone. So that's all, and I'll see you next time in my other videos.